Hi guys, hope all of us are doing great. My name is Ernest, and this is Ernest is Sciences and Mathematics TV channel. Today we are going to look at some essentials of algebra, and this is going to form a basis for us in trying to solve some algebraic aspects, especially in basic mathematics. So today we're going to look at basic terminologies, and I'm going to do this in a series of videos so that we can be able to comprehend, especially if we come across those specific terms whenever we are going to discuss on different topics which are related to either algebra or application areas. So algebra in an essence refers to a generalized or an extended type of arithmetic. In this specific case, we had of course mentioned about arithmetic expressions or arithmetic operations in other videos. I'm going to put a link in the description box. So therefore, algebra in an essence is a form of arithmetic. And of course, we're going to see that contrary to arithmetic, as we had discussed earlier, we're going to see that in algebra, there's going to be a combination of numerical figures which are used together with the symbols. And we are going to come across these ones. And I'm going to elaborate on this, especially when we're going to talk about different types of representation for this specific concept of algebra. So this can be given in terms of either symbols or letters. And of course, I'm going to use specific examples as I've said. So the essence of algebra, or the relevance of algebra, is to try and give the relationship between different quantities. And this is going to provide for us a convenient way of trying to express those specific quantities. Now in algebra, we're going to encounter what we refer to as unknowns. Unknowns basically refers to symbols or letters which are going to be used, which are basically going to represent perhaps unknown real numbers and other quantities, of course, which I'm going also to elaborate on. Now, in this particular case, I've talked about the concept of symbols. So in algebra, we are going to come across what we refer to as literal symbols. Now, in this specific case, the literal symbols are going to constitute letters such as X, Y, Z. Now, in the study of coordinate systems, we have basically been using these specific letters which are going to represent real numbers. And of course, these real numbers are going to be unknown. So these literal symbols are going to constitute of these specific letters. So we're going to come across them often as we are going to discuss in various topics, especially in mechanics and other areas in sciences and mathematics. And then we're going to come across different operations which are going to be involving algebra. So we're going to refer to them as algebraic operations. And these are going to be operations which are going to be expressed in the same way as we do normal operations for real numbers of arithmetic. And they are going to constitute addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and of course other representations like the exponents that we have been talking about. So this is going to be consisting of also the powers of algebraic, or the powers of the parts of algebraic expressions that we're going to see later, and perhaps the concept of roots. So in an essence, I would like us to, of course, take note of these specific terms. Now, I've said that algebra basically is a generalized or extended form of arithmetic. And in algebra, contrary to arithmetic expressions, we're going to see that, or arithmetic numbers, we're going to see algebra is going to employ the concept of symbols and letters. And of course, in essence, these specific symbols in algebra are going to constitute what we refer to as unknowns. So in this particular case, we're going to have examples of these specific symbols. One of them is the literal symbols, which are going to constitute such a kind of letters. Now, these letters are going to represent unknown real numbers. And of course, they are going to provide a convenient way of trying to express the relationship between different aspects, as I've said, either in mathematics or sciences. And of course, they are going to be representing unknown real numbers, as I've said. So there are different operations that we're going to perform for algebra, and these are going to be algebraic operations, and they're going to assume as a normal format for operations that we normally do for arithmetic, of course, numbers. And this is going to constitute addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and even powers and roots of those algebraic expressions respectively. Now, of course, we're going to algebraic operations. Now, of course, we're going to also encounter what we refer to as algebraic expressions. So this is algebraic expressions. And in these algebraic expressions, these are going to be a result of a sequence of algebraic operations that are going to be applied on a set of numbers or symbols, as I've said. And of course, we're going to see several examples. For instance, if I have a combination of numbers, I have mv squared. This is going to represent what we call an algebraic expression, and of course it's going to bear meaning having a combination of those specific numbers, as we're going to see later. Now, in this specific video, I hope that we are going to take note of these specific terms that I've used particularly for this specific video. And in our next video, we're going also to see a range of terms which is going to be of course complementing on this specific video concept of algebra. So catch us in our next video on description box, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on the same. So that is it for now, guys. Bye, God bless you. Catch us in our next video.